going to talk about who we are at ITA, a quick overview of what we do here. We'll spend most of our time talking about how COVID-19 has impacted the industry of international education and teaching English as a foreign language so far. We'll talk about things to consider. Can or should you get TEFL certified right now? We'll talk a bit about teaching English online because that can be a great way to earn money from your home before you're ready or able to travel. We'll look at a realistic timeline for teaching English online and teaching English overseas. And at the end, we'll talk a little bit about why you might want to choose ITA as your TEFL school. And if there's time at the end, we'll take some live Q&A. So with that, John, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. So just to introduce us here at International TEFL Academy, we are a world leader in TEFL certification, training classes for teaching English abroad and teaching English online. Over the past years, we've trained about 30,000 students to teach abroad. Our alumni have been teaching abroad in up to 80 countries worldwide, and more recently, a lot of people teaching English online as well, both from home and abroad. We're really proud that in recent years, we've won numerous awards as a top TEFL provider, and our classes have won awards. We invite you to check out our reviews. We have hundreds and hundreds of them on different third-party sites. They provide great perspective, not just on ITA, but what teaching English abroad and TEFL certification is all about. So definitely check those out.
Yeah, and this is our a team photo from our film festival from last April. Obviously, this is before the age of self-isolation. And so just to kind of let you guys know, everyone here at ITA has kind of been there and done that. We talk the talk, but we've also walked the walk. I think collectively we're well over 100 countries as a group, travel, lived, worked in. And so, you know, we all come from different backgrounds from all over the world, but our one common theme here is we've all been there and done this, and we want to really share with you the excitement of teaching abroad, teaching online, getting TEFL certification, because it really is an opportunity that if you take full advantage of it, provides just a lifetime of great things to come. And so we're all excited to be here, excited to help you. Some of you have probably already spoken to your advisor maybe several times before even attending this webcast. I know we also actually have some alumni here tonight that are tuning into this webcast. So hopefully some of this rings true for all of you. So yeah, we're excited to be here. So let's move on. Let's talk about why we all came here tonight, and that is COVID-19.
Yeah, so obviously the situation is very fluid. There are many variables to consider and to look at. Let's start off just by taking a bird's eye view of sort of where things stand now with regards for jobs for teaching English abroad, teaching English online, and also with TEFL certification classes. So where do things stand now? Bottom line, in most countries around the world, especially major teaching markets, schools are closing, classes have been moved online or postponed. International travel in many places, or domestic travel, or even leaving your house is, everything's basically at a standstill. It seems that we are looking probably at an economic crisis in the coming months. Jobs in many sectors of the economy will be hard to come by. If you're a graduating college senior, 2 months ago, it looked like there were going to be tons of jobs. Now that's very much in question. And if we look around the globe, different countries are at different stages of the coronavirus outbreak, and this will affect timelines for when schools do reopen and begin hiring teachers. For example, we're seeing that in some countries like South Korea, it appears that they're on the downslope of the virus outbreak, and they will probably be returning more to normalcy probably a little bit quicker than we are in, let's say, the United States or some countries in Europe. Of course, nothing is known for certain at the time, so it's important to stay informed.
Yeah, and we don't want to like start off this webcast by being all doom and gloom. Most people already know a lot of this stuff, and so it's just kind of like setting a, all right, what's the baseline? Where are we at now? And what can we expect moving forward? So, you know, historically, people invest in their education, especially English classes. I saw this especially back in 2008 with the last global financial crisis. It was actually a huge uptick in international teaching opportunities because even though people were losing their jobs all over the world, they were reinvesting in their education because having a fundamental understanding of English education made them more employable, right? And so teaching English online is one sector that is still very much hiring TEFL certified teachers during the coronavirus. Demand for educational services, especially English training, will continue to remain high. That's one thing for sure. The demand to learn the English language isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We don't know when, but at some point things should return to normal. And if you saw me right now, you'd be seeing the quotation marks because what is normal anymore? But when they do, there will certainly still be a high demand for English teachers. And those who prepare will be best positioned to capitalize on future opportunities. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that throughout this webcast, but it's the age-old saying, you know, like if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so that's kind of what we're going to be discussing tonight.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what's going on with TEFL certification classes. So for the most part, in-person TEFL classes around the world are closing. We see that a lot of the classes that we offer in different countries are classes are either closed or postponed, or they've been moved online in the coming months. Now, some you know, schools, they haven't canceled their classes in, let's say, May or June. But of course, it's a real possibility that these classes will be closed. So basically, for the foreseeable future, taking an online class is really your most realistic and best option for getting your TEFL certification. We'll talk about the online class further a little bit on in the presentation, but we are offering classes that begin every 2 weeks, and those classes are carrying on as normal.
Yeah, and so what do you anticipate in the coming months? First of all, it's got to be said, no one knows the future. You know, for the most part, everyone can relate to this whole situation is very fluid, right? And timelines change. It seems like every single day is a month's worth of information lately. And so when it comes to timelines, just know there may be some exceptions along the ways. It's really important to stay informed. And so this is where we're going to sound like a broken record again, but keeping in constant contact with your advisor at ITA to discuss your goals and address your questions is now more important than ever, because things develop, things change, and we want to, you know, we really kind of pride ourselves on educating ourselves and being leaders in this industry. And so we're constantly have our ear to the ground, you know, making sure that the information that we are providing our students and our potential students is the most accurate information possible, right? So the vast majority of paid opportunities for TEFL certified teachers in the next 3 to 6 months at least will likely be online, okay? As John mentioned previously, a lot of current positions, and we may even have some alumni here tonight that are in this situation, their school has just transitioned to online education in the meantime, just to make sure there's no disruption and interruption for their students' learning. So once normalcy returns, there will be a surge in demand for in-person teachers. A lot of people came home, right? And so those teachers that left, those schools that lost their educators, now all of a sudden have a position to fill. And it will be at least 3 to 6 months before in-person jobs will likely begin to reopen. Even if, you know, and we're going to get to this with timeline later in the presentation, but even if you started interviewing today for jobs, it still takes time for things to go through the interviewing process, the documentation, visas, all of that stuff. And so at the very earliest, we're looking at 3 to 6 months from now, jobs reopening. And as John also mentioned earlier, we're probably going to see the Asian market open up first. That's our feeling thus far. There's a lot of optimism coming out of countries like South Korea right now. They seem to have a little bit better grasp on things. I've been seeing on some message boards and hearing from some English teachers abroad that schools are even like, you know, hoping, fingers crossed, to be getting back into an actual physical classroom in the coming weeks. And so, you know, we'll see how that shakes out. And the more we know, the sooner we'll let you know.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are wondering, hey, can I get TEFL certified at this time? Should I get TEFL certified? Is it worth the money? I'm stuck at home. How is this going to work? You know, and we're all in this together. Times are uncertain. We're all uncertain about our health, the economy. None of us know exactly what's going to happen in the foreseeable future. It's also true that many of us are stuck at home with time on our hands, and we're searching for ways to make use of that time and to better position ourselves for the future when we do return to some sort of normalcy. So, you know, as we said, those who prepare are going to be best able to capitalize, and we're here to talk about your options going forward in the current conditions.
Yeah, so I think the best option right now in terms of getting prepared, being ready, finding opportunities to teach online and to take advantage of the job openings that will occur once things kind of return to normal is to get your TEFL certification online. You know, for years and years and years, it's been a situation where we've offered both in-person and online classes. And for the most part, I would always say, hey, look, both are the same. Our certification is the same. Our accreditation is the same. It really just kind of comes down to personal preference. And so there's not a real big difference between the two. Currently, right now, I would definitely be leaning more towards hold off on the in-person class, focus on getting certified online, because that's something you can do right now, right? And as we mentioned before, it's something that you'll be prepared in. Let's say things were optimistic, things work out as best as possible, and jobs and positions start opening up late summer. I mean, realistically, even if you started right this second getting your certification, you'd be ready to go as early as possible. As John mentioned, we're all at home right now. Like, and if you're not at home, get home. What are you doing? So if you're sitting at home, getting certified while at home certainly breaks up the monotony, gives you something to do. Obviously, there's lots of things you can do that you can better yourself, but TEFL certification, this is something that you can be focusing on right now when you have the abundancy of time on your hand. And one of the biggest things that we do as an organization, hands down across the board, you'd be hard pressed to find any of our competitors that do what we do when it comes to job search guidance and resources and our alumni network. As John mentioned earlier, we've trained over 30,000 English teachers that are teaching all around the world. Some of them are even here in this webcast tonight. And so you can start taking advantage of those job search guidance resources right away, getting your resume together, getting prepared for the job interviewing process, getting all your documents ready, and reaching out to other ITA alumni that are either preparing just like you or are currently abroad and say, hey, what's going on the ground right now in the Czech Republic? Tell me what's going on with your job in Japan right now. And so you have access to all of that as soon as you are enrolled in your class with ITA.
Yeah, and part of this, you know, I think something else that's on people's minds is, hey, the economy's crashing, the stock market's crashing, entire sectors of the economy are being shut down. Is this a time for me to invest, you know, my hard-earned financial resources during this great time of uncertainty? And you know, here are a few thoughts to, you know, keep in mind as you're weighing your options. Online education, specifically teaching English online, is one sector of the economy that is going to be hiring no matter how long the coronavirus outbreak continues, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year. People are going to be taking classes online, and online teaching companies are going to be looking to hire TEFL certified teachers. So you're investing in those job opportunities and ability to make money even if there is a lockdown if you get TEFL certified and then look to teach English online. Take advantage of your downtime, as we've been saying, you know, to prepare yourself for the coming months and perhaps the coming years. It's worth noting your TEFL certification does not expire, and ITA job search guidance is also lifetime. So if you earn your certification now and then decide, hey, I'm not ready to teach abroad, or the coronavirus, you know, continues longer than we suspect, At any point in the future, you'll have your certification, you'll have your training, you'll have access to all the resources and guidance you need to get teaching jobs all over the world, as well as online. You know, and the bottom line, this is our theme tonight. Those who prepare themselves now will best weather the storm and be best prepared to hit the ground running when opportunities do come. So we recommend being proactive, talk to your advisor. You know, we all understand what we're all going through in terms of uncertainty and financial, you know, questions and issues. And we're here to help you, you know, work through that and achieve your goal of getting TEFL certified and then teaching online or teaching abroad.
Yeah, not to make light of the situation too, but looking at this picture, it looks like my guy here, one of our alumni on this bridge, was already practicing some social distancing when he submitted this photo to us back a couple weeks ago. So shout out to my guy here for being ahead of the curve with that. Yeah, so why teach online? I mean, not to harp on it, but it's a huge market. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to date myself, but if this was available to me when I was younger, I absolutely would have been doing this just because it's a great opportunity. Huge market, even during coronavirus, fastest growing sector in TEFL. It is really unprecedented. You want to talk about exponential growth? The companies that are doing online English teaching, if you look at like their year-over-year growth, it's insane, absolutely insane how many people that these companies are hiring. As a first-time teacher, you know, starting off 15, 20 bucks an hour, it's pretty good, you know, and being able to do that from home and just making your own schedule and working like that, that's a fantastic gig. And also, if you have your certification, if you've had some experience, you can certainly make a little bit more, that's for sure. Gain experience and build your resume for the time comes you can actually teach abroad. We have a ton of grads, even pre-corona, that were like, look, I can't leave right now. Maybe I'm like, you know, still got another year of undergrad, or I just have like some stuff I have to take care of. I'm not ready to leave my job yet, but I'm gonna get certified now and just start teaching online just to build my resume. You know, having a year of experience on your resume within this industry is substantial because, you know, the average English teacher abroad just typically is a first-year teacher. We see an annual turnover rate within this industry is around 50%. So what that means is half of all the English teachers every year going overseas are typically first-year teachers. And so having a year or two of experience on your resume makes a really big difference. And so the flexibility, the opportunity, it really just kind of makes it for a great position. And once things do open up, if you're not ready to necessarily commit to one location, a lot of our alumni in the last few years have been using teaching online as an opportunity to live a little bit more transient lifestyle, like saying, hey, look, I want to go to South America, but like I don't want to necessarily like commit to just living in Chile. I kind of want to move around a little bit. As long as you have an internet connection, you can work from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, we have, alumni, before all of this coronavirus stuff started, who were basically house sitting their way across Europe or Latin America or Asia and sustaining themselves teaching English online. So anyway, what's a realistic opportunity for getting certified and then either getting a job teaching English online or overseas? Again, obviously nothing is certain, especially when it comes to teaching English abroad, but here, we're going to go over what we think are some realistic timelines for you to think about, and then go talk to your advisor and make a plan accordingly.
Yeah, John, did I hear that good boy in the background, Mr. Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor. I'm at home like everybody else, so my dog is here and he's outside and it's hailing. So
for those of you wondering, Trevor is a good boy, just for the record. So, all right. So teaching jobs. Oh, sorry, John. This is your slide. Go for it.
Yeah. So even in normal times, getting TEFL certified and then lining up job opportunities, it's typically going to take 3 to 6 or even 9 months. And it's not because there aren't opportunities. That's just the time that it takes for the process to play out. And we would say at this time, if you're looking at teaching English abroad physically, very earliest, probably 3 months is realistic. Now, if you're going to be taking the online class, that class is going to take basically 3 months. Some people take extra time to complete the live practice teaching element of that class. And one good thing to note is that you do begin receiving job search guidance during your class. So while you're taking the online class, you can be working with our advisors in the Student Affairs Department on putting together your cover letter and your resume, maybe getting any background checks that you need or other documents. You can even begin sending out resumes, possibly lining up part-time classes, part-time opportunities online. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then interviewing and lining up jobs. And again, so typically, if you look at this graphic here, the certification is going to take 11 weeks. You may we offer specialty classes in fields like teaching English online, teaching English to children. You can take those and then, count on at least several months to line up a job. So we would say earliest scenario, if you get into an online class in the next month, you could feasibly be teaching by the end of the summer, early fall, assuming that the coronavirus dies down to a degree by that time. Most likely in Asia, as we said, is going to be the first country where jobs are going to be opening up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been advising students for 12 years now. I usually say 6 to 12 months is a realistic timeline from the day you start the class until the day you get on a plane to go abroad. The sweet spot is usually right around 8 months. And so, yeah, I mean, even if none of this was going on, if you just called us up today, it was like, hey, I want to move to Spain, like, great, you'll be leaving at the earliest mid-September. So, so hopefully that adds a little comfort to some people who are still looking to maybe go abroad before the end of 2020. So teaching online jobs, I know we've been talking a lot about this tonight, but the bottom line is you're just more likely to get a job teaching online right now than you are getting a job abroad, at least for the time being. And it provides a way for you to earn money even if the coronavirus extends beyond 2020. I know some of us, it's an unhealthy obsession that we've all had in the last probably 2 weeks of staying up on news and social media and figuring everything out. But some of these worst case scenarios definitely leave you with that pit in your stomach a little bit. But this is something where if you're looking for employment opportunities, you at least know that this is something that will be available to you throughout the duration, right? Realistically, to expect to teach online full-time within 4 months of beginning your TEFL class, okay? Because it does take time to do the certification, does take time to interview and things like that. And so this is not an instant fix. This isn't, you're not gonna hang up this, off from this webcast and sign up for your TEFL class and be teaching tomorrow. There is still gonna be a timeline involved in that, but it's a much shorter timeline than not doing anything. You may be able to start teaching English online part-time earlier while you're doing your TEFL class, but in those scenarios, it may not be like your permanent job. It might be possibly with like an employer who might pay you a little bit less. And once you have your certification, then you'll be qualified for those higher paying jobs. Interviews and hiring process can take several weeks. Major schools require TEFL certification. So it's gonna be a lot easier once you complete your TEFL class. And this is certainly something too, where like, just like any employer abroad, like whether you wanna go teach English in China or Costa Rica or online, any reputable employer is gonna look at your certificate and know whether or not if it's a real accredited TEFL certification or one of those print at home Groupon classes that you bought for 40 bucks, right? A real teacher puts in real time, and that's reflected on your certificate. And schools, especially now, with the market, the demand, with a lot of people looking to do this, having something that's real and reputable on your CV is gonna be even more important than ever.
All right, so we've been talking about the online TEFL class, and at this point, it's your main option at this stage of the game. So let's just give it a brief overview. And what I recommend is we have a number of detailed pages on our website about this class. We also have a special ebook guide for the class, and you can actually get a guest login to check it out. So I recommend asking your advisor to get access to to that stuff and to get the links for the pages on the website. All right, so this is basically an 11-week part-time class. It's online, it's interactive. Classes are limited to 20 students per class. You're working with highly credentialed instructors. So these are basically university level professors. They all possess advanced degrees, at least a master's. Most of them have a PhD, and at least a decade of teaching and training experience. They've all taught English abroad. Many of them have also taught English online. It is an interactive class. It includes videos, there are live lectures, there are live office hours, but there's no required live time. So you don't have to log in at any time that may conflict with any other commitments you have, whether it be work or family or what have you. You can access all of that content on your own time, as long as you keep up with the class. This is a class that you can take from home, so it's you can take it while you have this downtime, while you're in the safety and comfort of your own home. One aspect of this class is there is practice teaching. Talk to your advisor about how that works and what the options are in terms of digitally and also in person, if that does become an option for you. Tuition for this class is $1,399, but we do have a special discount running to make it easier for everybody to get into this class and begin their preparations for the future.
Yeah, and I just want to say this class is awesome. Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here tonight. It is really awesome, and I'm just not, the one saying it. That's what our alumni say. And just to kind of give everyone a little perspective, ITA, we train between 5,000 to 6,000 teachers every single year. About 80% of our alumni take our online class. So it's hands down, even before coronavirus, was always our most popular class. And now it's just going to be even more popular than ever. So yeah, fantastic class. All the graduates that I've had take this class really enjoy it. It's a real course that is, challenging, just like any university course. Prepares you for all different scenarios for teaching, whether it's in person, whether it's online. Students of all ages, adults, children, all skill sets as well. And the practical component, working with actual real life non-native English speakers, that's, hands down, without a doubt, that's the #1 thing that our graduates say that they enjoy the most about the class is, hey, I'm getting some actual real life experience here.
Ian, it's worth noting that this class was named the #1 online TEFL class by goabroad.com, which is a huge player in everything related to teaching and working and studying abroad. So that's a huge honor that we're really proud of for this class.
That's right. And, we're not trying to toot our own horn, but let's just go ahead and toot it a little bit here, John, while we got a chance. We've also been named the top international organization in all of international education by goabroad.com in 2018. So we definitely try to keep up on this. And it's not just to line our trophy case, it's to make sure that everyone who goes through an ITA course has the experience that we tell them that they will have. Like this is what we say we do. This is what we do incredibly well. And if you work with ITA, this is what's going to happen, right? And so as John mentioned, we got a pretty awesome discount going on right now. I know times are tough right now. People, are maybe squeezed in a little bit. And so we're offering a discount on our online class through the end of the month, $200 off, $200, pretty substantial saving. And so you got to enroll before the end of the month about this. And we're also going to be doing some flexible payment options as well. Talk with your advisor about that. And so we've been hearing from people who want to get started on this. And so to kind of help accommodate getting people going sooner, we're definitely doing some really cool things in terms of like installment plans and things like that to help people out. So talk with your advisor. They'll give you the lowdown and the details on everything. And we're super excited to help get this going.
Yeah, and getting certified is really only part of the process. And whether you're planning on teaching English abroad in a foreign country or teaching English online or both, there's the whole job search process that you need to navigate, and this is a critical part of the process in determining that you're going to be able to, reach your goals and have a great experience teaching, whether it's online or in person. That's why we have a full-time staff of 8 highly experienced experts in our student affairs team, and they're available. Basically, their purpose in life is to help our students and provide them with personalized guidance to help them get higher teaching English abroad and teaching English online.
Yeah, I mean, they have other purposes in life. Like this is Hava right here. She's a wonderful garden, and she's a very good urban farmer. But yes, they do. So they are. Well, I'll just go ahead and say it. They are absolutely the MVPs, the all stars here at ITA, because they're the ones that kind of make sure everyone's dreams do come true. And so it's really kind of like what you would consider a full service experience. A lot of you have probably already spoken with your admissions advisor. They've been there answering your questions, helping you, guide you through this process. Once you enroll with ITA, that's really just the kind of the beginning here. Our student affairs office, they do everything from help you develop your international resume and cover letter to help prep you for the interviewing process. So like, okay, what types of questions am I going to be asked? What types of mannerisms am I going to display? Like culturally, if I'm applying for jobs in different countries, what type of like nuances do I need to be aware of? What are the visa laws for the different countries that I'm maybe looking to go to? Like what type of documentation do I need? Where do I need to go to get these documents? Where do I need to send them once I get them? And so you have a personalized job search guidance advisor. This is Rose here wearing the red shirt. That'll be there to help you all along the way, just like your admissions advisor is right now. We do lots of fantastic things like live webcasts, like on how to write your resume or how to interview for a job online. What's it like interviewing for a job in Spain? Different workshops. We have just really unprecedented job search resources for our graduates. Our International Directory of Schools, which is a worldwide language school directory that hosts literally tens of thousands of language schools in it all over the world. Alumni gain access to hundreds of online job boards. And then our job search guidance manual, which is quite literally like the encyclopedia of teaching English, both abroad and online, has just every single resource step-by-step outlined for you to teach English abroad. And so, hey, I want to move to Turkey. Let me flip to the Turkey section and go through step-by-step on what I need to do to make it happen there. Hey, I want to teach online. Let me go to that section to find out all about the different types of employers, what types of requirements they have, their interviewing process, their compensation, everything you could possibly need is right there for you. And this job search guidance, this assistance in helping you find employment as an English teacher, this is a lifetime service for you as an ITA alumni, and it's totally free. Once you're enrolled with us, this is available to you forever. This is not something where we're going to be nickel and diming you later on. Oh, you want to go to this country? Oh, you have to pay this program fee, or we're going to outsource you to some third party or whatever it may be. Absolutely not. Everything at ITA is in-house, and we walk you through every step of the way. We've got some alumni here tuning in tonight that are abroad, that are probably talking with their student affairs advisors, like maybe as we speak, responding to an email. We have people constantly coming back to us who are moving from different countries. So if your dream is to say, spend the next 3 to 5 years hopping to different places, this is absolutely something that you can do, and we're going to show you how to do it.
Yeah, and sort of the flip side of our student affairs team and job search guidance is our alumni association, and really the international community of teachers and travelers that we've built over the past decade, basically. We really believe in engaging with our alumni and telling their stories. We publish hundreds of alumni articles, Q&As, social media takeovers every year. We arrange meetups. We have exclusive networking opportunities online. For example, in Facebook, we have up to 100 different exclusive Facebook groups. A lot of them are country-based, but we have Facebook groups for teaching English online or teaching English for more mature teachers or what have you. And these are places where, as an ITA student or graduate, you can reach out and communicate with other ITA grads just like yourself. People are always asking questions, sharing job tips, organizing social meetups, and all kinds of cool stuff. And it really is an international community. We also arrange meetups every year on World Alumni Day. I think last year we had more than 20 different meetups in different cities around the globe that we sponsored. We even had our own Alumni Teach Abroad Film Festival that kicked off this past year, and we had up to 50 alumni submitting film submissions for that competition, which was in the historic Davis Theater in Chicago and was covered by major media outlets and so forth. So this is all, again, something that you can tap into basically as soon as you enroll in your class, and it's really an unprecedented resource for people who are really looking to get into teaching English abroad and teaching English online.
Yeah, I gotta say, one of the biggest bummers of this whole situation is that we had to postpone our film festival, because I'm one of the panelists, and I've seen the films that are gonna be at that film festival, and they are awesome. They are really, really fantastic. And so hopefully we'll be able to get that going again for maybe later in the summer or fall, and get those out to the public, because they are fantastic. Okay, so bottom line, we're here to help. We're open for business. Classes are beginning every 2 weeks, right? We're all here working from home, washing our hands, keeping our social distance, but we are here and we are on the phone working with students day and night, helping them realize their goals and answering their questions and address all their concerns. And you know, this little line at the bottom might sound cheesy, but it's true. Those who prepare now will weather the storm and be best prepared for the future. It's like I said earlier, you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? And it's something where we're all anxious, and just like you guys are, to see how everything shapes out. And you know, from my own perspective, having been doing this for a long time, I will say, you know, getting started when I did in 2008, right before the last, you know, kind of big recession. Granted, it had nothing to do with the virus, but you know, we saw a lot of people losing jobs and a lot of people scrambling for opportunities, and there was a lot of uncertainty. And I saw the international education community, the TEFL community, really kind of come together, and it provided a lot of opportunities that weren't there previously. I can speak for some of my colleagues that we saw more people looking to do this, you know, in times of the recession than any other time, because it's a great way to expand your knowledge base and to look for new opportunities out in the world. And now more so than ever, with the advancement of online education, we have become such a global connected community that we're really fortunate that these types of opportunities are available to us. And so I personally am very optimistic about this. And so hopefully my optimism carries out to all of you, and gives you a little bit of positivity in your life, because it seems like everything on aside from watching people try to do these push-up challenge on Instagram, there's not a lot of positivity on social media and things like that. And so hopefully this is the spark that you need to make a change. So I'm still talking. I guess, what are our next steps, John? What should people be doing?
Yeah, well, talk to your advisor, stay informed, stay safe. You know, if you want to make this a reality at some point in the future, prepare now. Get TEFL certified. Take the online class and be prepared when things return to normal, or have that certification and access to resources that you can get a job teaching English online if that's something that you need to do to earn money during the coronavirus. Experience the world as a paid English teacher abroad or online. It's an amazing experience to be a teacher. You make a difference in people's lives. You help them achieve their own personal goals and enhance their professional and personal opportunities. So it's an incredibly rewarding field. It's a great way to see the world when those opportunities return, and you're almost always going to be able to make money teaching English online. So get in touch, get certified, make it happen. We're here to help.
So one of the questions that's come up a few times is about completing the practicum for the online class. John, you want to take that away?
Yeah, so traditionally, it was an opportunity. The practicum is designed to provide our students with an opportunity to gain live teaching experience with actual ESL students, to build and enhance their skill set and gain a level of confidence in a live teaching situation. Now, over the years of times have changed, especially the last couple of years, and now with the onset of coronavirus, teaching English online and digital teaching is really becoming a big part of things. And as we've discussed, in the coming months, it looks like that's going to be really the way that people are going to be able to either, one, get jobs, or if they're taking their online class, to complete their practicum. So talk to your advisor about your own specific opportunities. Are you on total lockdown? And they'll go over how it works, whether you're going to complete your practicum online, teaching doing digital teaching, or doing it in person. There is an extension. So this is a part of the class that you can complete during your 11 weeks that you're doing the academic part of the class. And then you do have a 60-day extension to complete the practicum if you need it. Look, we're willing to accommodate people, and we understand times are totally different now. So talk to your advisor about your own situation, and they'll help you understand what your options are.
Awesome. What else has been on people's mind this evening?
Oh, a ton of things. I've been typing away, so please excuse the typos. Sorry if you got an answer from me and Erica, or if you didn't get any answers. It's been a lot of questions here. One of the questions that's come up a few times actually is whether there's a timeline for when in-person classes will reopen. Would one of you like to address that?
Yeah, short answer, no, not really. It all depends on the country in which the course is being offered and whether or not things return to normal in a time. I mean, I wish I knew the answer to that. I really do, but I don't. If you ask me when we're going to start offering the class in Rome again, I have no idea, because Italy, nobody knows what's going on there right now. And so I will tell you that if you are working with an advisor, you will be the first to know when those courses are offered again. But I think it just is, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to speculate at this point, because I just don't know, for certain countries. We shall see. We're cautiously optimistic that summer classes will be available. But at this time, we just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Thank you. A couple of people have asked, who's my admissions advisor? Some of you know us by name. I see some of my students here. Some of you have already met with Matt and Ashley and Robert. If you are wondering who your admissions advisor is, take a look at who has been sending you emails. So definitely take a look in your inbox, and the person who has been emailing you is your admissions advisor. So reach out to them, give them a call. Another question has come up about teaching English online. How many hours, once you're TEFL certified, how many hours can you expect to teach English online? And can you share a bit more about what teaching English online actually looks like?
Yeah, JB, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple different parts to that question. What does teaching English online actually look like? Yeah, you're basically teaching using a computer and the internet. You're using a webcam so that your students can see you. It's kind of an interactive experience, perhaps something that if you've used maybe Zoom or GoToMeeting. There are a variety of international platforms that a lot of these companies use, like Moodle and so forth, that are designed to provide, really the best possible interactive experience. It definitely provides different challenges compared to teaching English in person, and you do have to deal with certain technological challenges sometimes, maybe an audio delay and so forth. I would say that if you are interested in teaching English online, in addition to getting your standard TEFL certification, I recommend you ask your advisor about the Teaching English Online specialty class. This is a class that you can take after you take your standard class. It's a 2-week online class, and it's going to provide you with all sorts of training and insights into teaching methodologies, best practices, lesson planning, even how to navigate the job market specifically for teaching English online. In terms of the hours, one of the great things about teaching English online is that you really get to set your own hours in terms of how much.
Uh-oh, did we lose you, John?
We might have lost John.
Speaking of technical glitches, well, I think John was talking about the flexibility of the hours that you have when you teach English online, how many hours you may work. There are some employers that you'll have a standard set of hours, or like a lot of schools might kind of like ramp you up as you develop your tenure there. Some schools, there's no limits. You can work as much or as little as you'd like. And so there's a lot of flexibility there. One of my favorite submissions to our film festival that I've watched that hopefully we'll be able to put on our website in the coming months was a couple that was actually teaching English online and just traveling. They're all over places all over East Asia, and then not just like major cities. There were, in some pretty kind of rural places as well. But what was nice about it, as long as they had that internet connection, they were able to work and to teach. And so there's a lot of flexibility that comes into doing this. Over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of my students who have other jobs or who are maybe still full-time college students that start teaching English online now as a means to make a little bit of extra supplemental income, to get some experience before they go abroad. And so it's definitely something where there's not like one cookie cutter experience to kind of base everything off of, nor is that true for just in this industry in general. And so it's kind of nice though, because you can find opportunities out there that will really kind of suit you and your needs the best.
Thank you. And then another question that's come up a couple of times relates to specialty courses. John mentioned the specialty course for teaching English online. So we've gotten a couple of questions. Is that course required? And a couple of people have asked what other specialty courses we offer. So Ian, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, certainly. Is it required? No. Is it recommended? Yeah, it is. The standard TEFL class is all you need to do this, right? And I want to make that very clear. The TEFL certification that we offer with our online class is unprecedented. And I'm going to talk a little bit to Sarah, if you don't mind, just about like, I'm sure this has probably been asked as well. And we might as well just address it too, because this is usually one of the most common questions asked just in general, is about the cost of the certification as well. And so I'm going to kind of, I guess, answer two questions at once here. So first of all, let's talk about the standard course itself and why it costs what it costs, and why it's as reputable as it is. As John mentioned, we won the Go Abroad Award for Best Online TEFL Certification Course, and there's a lot of them out there that are all over the spectrum in terms of price and duration and reputability. And so ITA's online class, the reason it costs what it is because it's a real class. It's taught by a university level professor. There are 20 students in the class. It's a structured 11-week-long class. You're receiving feedback from your instructor throughout the course. You're learning to be a teacher. And so making sure that you are understanding the concepts and the fundamentals of the subject you're learning to teach is of paramount importance. If you don't receive that constant feedback, if you don't receive somebody giving you that guidance along the way, I'll tell you right now, it's tough to really kind of grasp and master the skill set. I'm taking a self-paced course online right now on inclusive leadership. As you know, I'm the vice president here at ITA, and one of the things we kind of pride ourselves on is like constant education for our staff here. And so I'm learning how to be a more inclusive leader. It's a self-paced class, and I got to be honest with you, it's not really something that I've really committed to like I would if I was being held accountable with like due dates and having to show up and do things, right? And so it's definitely something where I've like been putting it off and procrastinating on things. That's not how ITA's online course works. It's a real course taught by a real professor with real people in there learning to be professional instructors. And we don't skip on the quality of the course. We pay our professors living wages. We pay our student affairs reps to help you find jobs, living wages. Look, some of these providers out there that are selling classes on Groupon for like 40 bucks, there's just no way that there's anything of value in there that's going to qualify you for these jobs or be able to provide you the services you need to get the reputable job that you're looking for. The numbers just don't add up. And so with us, we really heavily invest in this, and it is an investment. It's something that you're going to spend, real money on because you're going to get real results. If you work with ITA, you will do this, right? And that's kind of the end of the day. That's the reality. And for most people who are looking to make a commitment, that can be kind of scary, like saying, all right, I'm going to invest this time and this money. What happens if I don't get a job? That's the $1 million question. And that's where, having a reputable organization that has a proven track record, both with, organizations like the Better Business Bureau, along with like third-party review sites like Go Overseas and Go Abroad, and Google and all these different things, to make sure that what you're spending your hard-earned time and money in is really going to result at the end of the day in what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so that's the first point. The second point about the specialty courses are fantastic supplemental, like consider them like graduate level specialty, like add-on classes. So if you want to be an online English teacher, as John mentioned earlier, there's just some fundamental differences between working in a classroom, physical classroom, and working in an online environment. And with the TEO, the Teaching English Online specialty course, it's a 2-week immersive class that will really kind of like focus you on what it's like to be in a digital environment, educating your students. And we have alumni that have been coming back to us because we haven't offered this our entire existence. We only just started offering this course in the last year. We've had graduates that took our class years ago coming back to us to do the specialty add-on course because they knew that they needed that additional training to have a better understanding of what they were doing in the digital classroom. Now, we do offer other specialty courses as well, focusing on teaching English to business English learners, along with teaching English to young learners. So if you're looking at going abroad, this is especially true. Different job markets, the age and the level of education that the students are going to have, like the English competency that they'll have, will really vary on the market. Like, for example, if you want to go to Latin America or Europe, there's a really high probability that you're going to be working with adults because most of the jobs in those regions are in what you would consider calling the private sector. So private language schools where people are paying to take English classes. And so most of the students are adults. So maybe having that extra knowledge base on teaching business English will really come in handy, and it'll also differentiate your resume from others that are applying for these jobs. Whereas if you're going to Asia, as a lot of people will tell you, there's every type of job you can possibly think of in the Asian market, especially in markets large like China and Japan and South Korea. However, the largest demographic is going to be working with kids. And so having a foundation of knowledge on how to work with young learners specifically is really going to prove to be advantageous. And whatever you invest on your education on the front end is going to pay itself back tenfold on the back end, because you're acclimating to your new life and your new position. Having that foundational education to get started removes a lot of that stress of acclimating to your new job and moving to, eventually moving to your new country, because you are dealing with a lot of different things. The last thing you want to be thinking about when you're laying in bed at night is like, oh my God, how am I going to write this lesson plan tomorrow for this intermediate level class that I have that really needs to focus on listening exercises, right? That's what you learn in your TEFL certification. That's what you learn throughout your training with ITA. And that's why when you show up day one, whether it's to your online employer or to your physical classroom abroad, you have the skill set, the foundation, and the confidence to effectively educate right away. So that was a mouthful. Sorry if I was rambling.
No, you answered like my next 3 questions that I had laid out. So thank you, Ian.
Yeah, that's those 12 years of experience.
I was like, oh, he's answering that question and that one and that
Okay.
one. So thank you very much, Ian. And with that, we are a little bit over our 1 hour scheduled webcast time. So thank you everyone for joining us and for listening to us as we talked about this very important topic. We did our best. Jesse, Erica, and I were typing away. Again, if we missed your question, we didn't get to it, or if we just didn't quite answer it, definitely reach out to your admissions advisor and we'll get you that answer. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, one last thing before we wrap up, Sarah. I'm fairly sure that this might be one of the world's largest TEFL related webcasts in history. We had almost 500 people show up tonight. I think we might have even broken 500 at one point. That for us at ITA, we've been doing webcasts for years now. We've never had that many people show up before. And so for those of you tuning in at home, thanks for showing up. Thanks for spending time with us tonight. I know hopefully this added a little bit of comfort to your already stressful lives. And as Sarah said, please get in touch. We're happy, we're passionate about this, and hopefully this is just the start of something really, truly fantastic for each and every one of you. So thanks again, and thanks to Sarah, thanks to John and
Thanks.
Erica and Jesse for your nimble fingers and typing of questions. And John, I always love presenting with you, my friend. We've been doing this for years, and it's always such a treat. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.